you're still going to have questions, this is fine. You can always ask me. But I just thought maybe if we did this in service, it would help kind of refresh everybody's memory. So, intraoperatively, surgeon says we're doing a hemicraniectomy. We're going to take that bone flap off, and he'll say, he or she, they will say, I want to preserve the bone flap. If you'll just give me the colored, please. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All right. So if he says, she says, I want to save the bone flap and freeze it. So then we know, as soon as they hand this bone flap off to the scrub tech, this, first of all, needs to be put in a very safe spot. Don't wrap it in a lap, because what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to grab that lap, it's going to fall on the floor. I've actually had a tech wrapped it in a lap, and whenever he broke scrub at the end, he grabbed a lap to like wipe things down, contaminated the bone flap, we had to throw it away. So put it in a safe spot that you know is where it is. That's the first thing.
Orange towel?
Orange towel is the safest thing to do. But I think sometimes if you're like in a pinch and you don't have time to run, if it's one of those like really crazy cranies, put it in a blue towel or put it in the kidney basin. That's the safest place because they'll see it. If you wrap it in a blue towel, it sometimes gets a little sticky and they'll grab that too. I would say kidney basin is the safest place if you don't have an orange towel. Okay, so we're at the point where we're ready to wrap. So I open this whole thing. This is a whole sterile. I open this whole thing to the sterile field. Now, there are step-by-step instructions on what to do on here, on the outside of this wrapper. She's going to open everything. What I usually do with my scrub tech, I usually take a patient sticker and I read it off to them, and we verify that everything in the computer is everything that's on the sticker. I just read it out. We check everything together. What I will do, I will sometimes write everything on the board. That way they can see it and they can copy it at a time that's convenient to them, because obviously if surgery is not over, surgeons still ask them for things. But if I write it on the board, then they can go look back at it. Or I can put a sticker on the wall or something and let them look at it as well. I just like them to be able to see all of the information. It is very, very, very important. There's only 2 in here. There used to be 3. It's very important that you keep all of these sterile when you wrap them. So like when you put the bone flap in here, mind you, I'm not sterile, I'm just showing you. When you put the bone flap in here and it's wrapped in this little towel, you want to secure this one, put this whole thing in this one, and secure that one. Because if there's a perforation, if a hole gets into this, then it's still considered sterile. If you only have this one sterile, like the one that's got the bone flap in it, then if this one has a hole in it, and then this one gets a hole in it, then it's like, okay. It's kind of like double peel packing something. Mm-hmm. It's just the safest way to do it. Also, all 3 of these cards, I know it seems like we're just doing the same thing over and over again. All 3 of these cards should be filled out. 1 sticker on each bag. And then this one goes on the outside. So she's going to go ahead and like do all of her things. And then I even, at the end, after my scrub tech fills out all of these cards, I will take the sticker and I will double check that everything on there is correct. I will look at the name, the date of birth, the medrec number, the date of surgery. I look at every bit of that to make sure that it matches what my sticker says. I know it seems like it's like super crazy to do all of that, but if for some reason when we go back to do a cranioplasty, if any bit of this information is incorrect, then it makes it look really fishy to try to put it back on the flap. Now, when a trauma comes in, if they have a trauma name and a trauma birthday, when they actually get assigned their actual name, actual birthday, our tissue coordinator, Joe, he will put in the computer and have the correct information on the outside stickers. These obviously will still have your trauma name and birthday, but I always try to check these before it gets to the day of surgery. And if there's a discrepancy on either of those, then I have someone in medical records that I email, and they will provide me like a receipt per se of where the name and the date of birth was changed in the computer. But the medrec number should always match up, because even when they're a trauma patient, you're going to have the same medrec number. Also, don't forget to swab the bone. Culture swab, very important. The culture swabs used to come in the pack. They do not come in the packs anymore. But I actually think Where's the wrapper? Does it, I think it says it. It does not actually.
What
So that's
test to
some,
run?
huh?
Yeah, what test to run? Or what on?
No, I was just trying to see if it tells you to swab the bone flap on here, but it doesn't.
So is that on the card though?
It is on most of them. I'm actually going to put like a laminated piece of paper over by the bone flap because there used to be one when Jessica was the coordinator. I guess somebody took it down maybe when they started blue band. It got pushed behind, so I thought it was still there, but I don't think it is anymore. So I'll put a little laminated piece of paper in front of the bone flaps where you get them on the neuro wall, and just put a reminder to always swab the bone before you wrap it.
What order are you putting in?
Usually it's a culture for, I think I usually put bone and then I'll put swab and then I'll just name it like cranial bone flap swab or something like that. But the surgeon can also tell you, but that's just usually what I do. They're not
So
picky as long as it gets cultured.
So
They don't really care.
when you go to orders, you're typing in bone,
Yes,
and then what test are you selecting?
just,
Anaerobic,
yes,
anaerobic.
gram stain, anaerobic, aerobic. Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I misunderstood the question.
And then you're taking it to Main Street 7?
Is that micro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't just put stickers on this, patient labels. You have to like
On
write
the
it.
flap?
This
Oh,
has to
oh,
be, this has
yeah,
to be
I will
all of
write
their
it.
information.
Now, I will say, I had a bone flap the other day that, the team they took 2 stickers off of the paper and they put it in the bag with it before they after the scrub tech did both of these, like they wrapped. And then once you hand it off to the nurse, then we will put it in this bag and turn it into the freezer. But they put 2 stickers down in this bag before they put it in the freezer, and that was extremely helpful.
So when you're checking it in,
You can't put stickers on there because these are sterile, stickers are not.
okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah.
So you're checking it in before,
Uh-huh.
you're just putting the sticker.
In the
Like,
book,
Yeah, what are what's the stuff in the book? It's just the sticker?
you
and
just
the
put,
surgeon?
it'll say sticker, date of surgery, and the surgeon removing the flap.
And then the person checking it in,
Yes, perfect.
and then just put it in the freezer?
Yes. And there's a spot in the freezer that says new bone flaps, new cranial bone flaps.
Okay. So what if they come back to us and they still have their trauma name?
Well, then it'll match everything on there. It's okay. They can still have their trauma name. I'm just saying that if they get to the point where their names are changed,
Okay.
then I can provide proof of that. But if they still have, most of the time they don't, because usually, like, by the time they're ready to reimplant the bone, it's like several months later. And that's because they need to give the patient's brain time to heal. And I don't think I've ever had one that came back at least before a month.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time it's like 6 or so months. Because usually when we're removing these flaps, it's in an emergent situation where they have like a lot of brain swelling, a huge brain bleed, so it needs to be off for a while because you have to give the patient time to heal. A lot of them will neurostorm when all this happens too, so if you remember that from nursing school, all the ins and outs. But yeah, they won't do it usually before 6 or so months.
You give the swab separately, correct?
You give the swab to the nurse, yes, and she'll put it in Epic.
And you will keep this on the table till,
As soon as it's wrapped, then you can give it to the nurse, and she can clock it in.
And don't keep it on your table for hours either.
Yeah. Yep.
how long do you have?
There's no actual time. I've looked it up. There's
Okay.
no actual time, but you just want to get it in the freezer as soon as you
Yeah.
can.
Got it.
All right. I think it's our time to swap. If you have any other questions, find me later.
So everything goes in that,
Yep.
Make sure you use all the bags.
all the bags?
That's the
Okay.
big thing.
Got it.
That's the biggest thing.
I had one time where they only used one
One
bag,
bag?
and it was sterile. Thank goodness there was no hole in it.
Yeah.
But if there had been a hole, then we wouldn't have been able to use it, and the patient would have had to have another surgery, had to pay thousands of dollars to have a prosthetic plan
Yeah.
implant in it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, everybody. We are in room